showed. It's like, man, you get credibility. You're able to then get pushed out to mainstream, be in mainstream media. But also, you had to sign away, basically saying, like, they can say whatever they want about you, which is kind of crazy because they're in control and not you. Welcome back in action. Podcast episode 37. We're here live, ready to roll. I'm kind of alive. I'm trying as much as possible. This is maybe one of the busiest months I've ever had in my whole entire life. I do have to say. Because where do we start this month? We were bouncing around here. Had a bunch of stuff going on. Me and Parker then went up to Colorado. We spent a few days up there, which, if you're a regular on this podcast, you probably saw location difference. Yes, we did do podcasts at a different location. And then we figured out internet is an issue with uploading podcasts. So a day later, so on one of them. And then we also figured out that our planning preparation needs to be a little bit more on point because some of the podcasts were out of order and whatnot. So bouncing around there, then me and Parker went back to our hometown. We spent time with family and everything. And then I went up to Colorado for a hunting trip. And so finished that, did an elk hunting trip, bow hunting, which I know we've talked about it before, but dude, that is my favorite hunting by far. Out of all the you can go to Africa, you can go fishing, you can go hunting, all these outdoor things. Elk hunting during September bow season, which is like what's called the rut. During that time, dude, it's the best. It was so much fun. Only issue was prior to that, we went from Colorado to Arizona, and I attempted a 100-mile race. Right, we talked about that before as well, and it was an attempt. I failed. During that process, I injured my knee, which is still it's now to a point to where like that I can't feel the pain. But there was during that hunt specifically, there were times where I'm like, yeah, can't climb up there, can't do these things, just because the pain was like, it was definitely prominent. But ended up being successful. Now, if you move forward, I guess, 4 days, and then here we are now recording this podcast for you guys. How has your month of September been?
Yeah, it was pretty hectic for the first, just especially like the race and stuff. I had like a little, I guess it wouldn't be a week off because we were kind of rushing to edit videos and stuff like that. So, I had a little bit of time to relax in Midland and stuff, and then we'll also pump the videos out. But this first month, I got to just like hang out with family in a while. So
yeah,
because even like going through school, I go in for the holidays, and then you're just right back to school. But that was the first time I was home, not having to worry about doing like assignments or something. Like I was doing like editing and stuff. But
how was that?
It was nice. It was tough because I was working on my laptop instead of my actual desktop, which I always work on my desktop. So I didn't have everything I needed and stuff. So I was having to. But even getting back on my real computer, like I was like going up to the wrong spot to exit out of stuff like the opposite side. I was I legit tried clicking on my keyboard to turn my volume. I went up there, I was like, what the? I was like, oh wait, I'm not on my Mac. So so I'm having to get resituated back to my desktop.
I don't know, dude. It may need to shift over because that's what I did. That's why I completely got rid of my desktop because I got so used to traveling, like doing things that the Mac I just found it easy. And then when you plug into a monitor, then it's like, and you plug in a norm, because what I don't like about the Mac is the mouse pad and the keyboard.
Yeah.
Right. That's the stuff that like annoys me. But if you can get an external mouse pad, external keyboard, and external monitor, then it's like you got everything you need. External hard drive, or isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, external hard drive too, so you can have all your memory on there. And then you don't even need like the computer just so you can function.
Yeah.
You can take all your stuff to different computers and like have different setups. That's the only reason. Plus AirDrop is another thing.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I think you're starting to understand that Macs They might be superior, dude.
No, they definitely are superior whenever you're traveling and stuff. But whenever I'm sitting at home, I'm definitely gonna gotta use the desktop.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think I don't know. I do know though that they came out with the iPhone 15. You seen that?
I haven't kept up with that since like the 12 dropped. That was the last time I remember. I think I have the 11 or something, but
I don't know. Everyone. It's every time they drop a new one, it's like a little. It used to be like the new iPhone because it was like the first iPhone, and then it was like the iPhone. What was it? It was just like 4. The iPhone 4. Remember that?
and they definitely had a 2 and 3 in there. I'm sure.
Yeah, but I don't remember. maybe
They definitely just go iPhone 4.
Dude, I don't know. Yeah, they definitely.
Yeah, they definitely didn't do that.
Okay, but iPhone 15 is now out.
Yeah.
All right, and that one is apparently shatterproof.
Okay.
Shatterproof.
Give me a
it's like-
hammer in 5
It's
seconds.
like titanium.
Ain't happening. I'm cracking that hoe.
it's titanium built. All right, titanium is just shatterproof. It can't be shattered.
Nope.
I guess. Where like the one you have right now is glass.
Just like how I think it was when like the 6 came out, it was waterproof. And we're
Yeah.
up to like the 15. You still can't really.
then-
They're not really waterproof. They're water
And then
resistant.
the sound was all jacked
Yeah.
up. Yeah. No, I know. I don't know. I'm not planning on buying one anytime soon. But that's interesting that came out. I don't know. Since our last podcast we recorded, there's been a lot of stuff going on. I know you brought it up. I guess Squid Games. Netflix has got Squid Games coming out.
Yeah, that's what they tweeted something about it. And when I first saw it, I thought it was something Mr. Beast because like
Yeah.
he's only done
'Cause
remakes.
honestly, dude, Squid Games came out on Netflix, but that was whatever a month or so where everyone was like talking about it, and then after that, Squid Games was like Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Like you talk about Squid, like after that first month, it was like oh, Squid Games is like Mr. Beast got 100 million views or whatever on that video and stuff.
Yeah, that's what. And for them doing for that to not even been in English, like it was dubbed, and like that many people watched it. Like I watched the whole series.
Wait, was it really?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that.
It was in like
Oh yeah.
whatever, like Chinese, whatever language that was, and there was
Korean,
English
I think.
subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've never. That's definitely the only show I've ever watched multiple episodes of where,
Wow,
where it was
you
a
watch
different
Narcos?
language. Watch what?
Narcos.
Oh, I watched a part of that one,
That
but
was
I
a
never.
banger, dude.
I'm sure that's why I didn't finish it though, is because I got tired of reading subtitles all the
I
time.
didn't finish Squid Games.
Yeah, but so Mr. Beast came out with the thing, and he had even talked about like making a Netflix show. He's been saying he wants to make some type of game show on Netflix, and he's like I could do it the same way like how I did Squid Games. I learned so much stuff on like how to do it, and like what to do and what not to do, and
Yeah.
well, it turns out they're making it without his help, and obviously like there's no way they would have ever done that if it wasn't for him making that video. Like I don't think
That's true. Yeah.
I don't think they would have ever came up with the idea of,
Yeah,
we should make an actual game show out of it. Like, I'm sure somebody would have thought of it, but they would have been like, oh, that's dumb. But then they saw it work for Mr. Beast.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so they're doing, it's like 456 people. It's like the biggest prize pool of any gaming show. It's like 4.5 million or something. Pretty sure it's like 4.56 million. So
Yeah.
however much for each person.
No. Oh.
100,000.
100,000
Yeah,
each
100,000 for
person,
each person. And, somebody commented, they're like, there's no way like they're doing this without the help of Mr. Beast. Like it's kind of like his, which I guess like because you can say he straight copied whatever, so it's not his. But
Yeah.
so then somebody's like, surely he's working on it, and Mr. Beast commented back, and he's like, no, he's like, I'm not. He's like, and I would have done it for free too. He's like, I could have helped him out, but they didn't want my help, and he's been like throwing shade at him, like he's like, oh, this is so out of date, or like this is so whatever, like already calling it
like
old and stuff. I'm
fall,
sure he's a little bit salty,
yeah.
but I mean, I'm sure they'll make a killing off of it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, my question is, why is Mr. Beast salty? Right? Because I think people are coming to a point to where it's like mainstream media, because Netflix, in a sense, is mainstream media. Like, you can have control over your own platform, or like you can like that's the whole thing behind Ben Shapiro. Like he started on social media on YouTube, or I mean, I guess on Instagram, YouTube, like those things. But now he has his own website and his own platform that he started. And Netflix obviously was its own, it was its own platform, an own thing back in the 2000s. But now it's like considered mainstream media, right? Like a Blockbuster, Hollywood, it got in.
Yeah.
And Mr. Beast right now, like, does he want to get into mainstream? Or does he want to be like Ben Shapiro and have his own thing where he is not controlled by Netflix? Because if Mr. Beast was accepted in, they would have rules for him. Right?
Yeah, because he said before that he wants to do like possibly a TV show or something on Netflix like pretty soon. So I know he's wanted to do it. And I'm sure I'm sure he doesn't care too much getting into mainstream media, but it's whenever mainstream media basically takes his ideas and does it without him, then I could see where he'd be like, all right, like it's one thing like YouTubers copying your stuff and stuff because you're like, all right, they're doing their thing, but when Netflix copies your deal and you don't get any cut of it, like. Which is hard to say they're copying him because it's Squid Games. It's not his thing. But, like, it was his idea to make a game show out of it. Like an actual game show.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that because it is I just don't think – I am so against, like, mainstream because they give rules that you have to follow because it's, like, the bureaucracy of it, right? So, talked about this before with UFC, right? It's a privately owned company. And Dana White controls it, right? There's another thing that happened over this past break is Sean Strickland. He won, right? I'm not a big UFC guy, but you are, right? And you told me like it's a big deal. He beat Adesanya.
Adesanya, yeah.
Okay, Adesanya, right? So I got it right. But that was a whole big deal. Well, I like this Sean Strickland guy because he says whatever the hell he wants. Anything. He didn't give a shit. And him saying this stuff and still having a platform to say it because he's not in the NBA and he's not in the NFL and he's not in a like that bureaucracy or Netflix, right? He's in the UFC, which is a privately owned company, which allows him to have freedom of speech, right? Because Dana White is like, yo, I believe in freedom of speech. You can do that, right? If he's on X, Elon Musk owns it, a privately owned company. He can have freedom of speech. He's on Instagram. Now he can't have that because now they have the corporate thing. It's a publicly owned company, and they have to have stockholders, right, making the money. And that's kind of that's what Netflix is.
Yeah.
So you can't have your own, like, you can't have freedom of speech on these things. They're limited by the rules.
Yeah, that's what I don't think he's necessarily like. Could be if Netflix came out with a show that had nothing to do with Mr. Beast that did really well, he wouldn't have been like salty and been like jealous. But I think it's them using his idea or like his. It'd be the same thing for you. Like, say you don't want to do mainstream media, but you do, like, you come up with a new YouTube series that does really good, and then some mainstream media makes a thing just like it and gives you no credit or doesn't involve you. You'd be like, well, I mean, what the hell? I guess that's my idea. So, I mean, I don't think he's salty I don't think he's salty about the money because even he said he'd do it for free. But I think it's just almost like the fact of he knows he can do it better than them and they won't give him the chance. And I think that's kind of what bothers him.
But what bothers me is the fact that I think he thinks that Netflix is better than he is. And I think he's better than Netflix.
Well, I do too, but I think I don't know. I think
and it's not just him. It's all society thinks Netflix better than he is.
Which I mean, because technically, I don't know.
You see what I'm saying, though? Because Netflix is a corporation and it's publicly traded, right? And they have all this money, all these funds to do things. If Mr. Beast went and IPO'd on the stock market, I think he would have more money, or maybe not more, but his evaluation would be higher than Netflix's evaluation.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're just such a powerhouse that anybody in the industry would work with them if they have the chance. Like, I think it
sucks, dude. That's why I don't let. That's why I'm like, because the same thing like Disney. It's like, I guess it was kind of the same thing with what was that show that wanted me to get on? Not Too Hot to Handle, but the other one.
Oh, F Boy Island.
Yeah, F Boy Island. It was the same thing. It was like, damn, should I go on the show, this F Boy Island thing? It's like, man, you get credibility. You're like on a big show. You get all this networking. Like, you're able to then get pushed out to mainstream, be in mainstream media. But also, you had to sign away, basically saying, like, they can say whatever they want about you. Like, you can literally talk like this to a camera, and they can cut it up and clip it up to where it looks like you say something completely different, which is kind of crazy because they're in control and not you, whereas Mr. Beast is in control right now. If he goes under Netflix and then, has to follow their rules, well, now they're in control. And so a little different.
Yeah, I think it's more the credibility thing. 'Cause, I mean, even Mr. Beast, I don't see him as like some of these like super genuine influencers. I think he's getting away from that to where he's more mainstream too.
That's facts.
So I mean, I don't really like. I wouldn't be surprised. Like if Danny Duncan did something with Netflix, I'd be a little bit more surprised than if Mr. Beast did. I think that's one thing. Like if he did a Netflix show, then after that, like all of mainstream media would see him as like credible to do like mainstream stuff because now he's been on Netflix. So I think he sees it as like a door opening to a whole nother side of things.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And some people, I don't know. Like, I mean, Logan Paul, he's definitely along those lines. And I guess I don't know, to each their own, right? You can do what you want with it. I'm personally gonna try to stick with the straight and narrow, not break into that. I don't know, it scares me. But all right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. All right, that's all I asked for you. Hit that subscribe button because what it's going to do, it's going to allow you to come back for more, watch more videos, understand, comprehend, or do whatever you want with your time watching our videos. Hopefully it gives you a little brightness in your day, something like that. Otherwise, guys, take it easy. Have a fantastic rest of your day. We'll catch you next one. Peace.